Welcome back, everybody. My name's Ryan, the Game Show Guy, and we're playing bingo again. What does he mean by again? Well, I've already done a video that you may or may not have seen. That was my bingo part 1. This is bingo part 2, but they're not like the sequel. It's not like Empire Strikes Back to Star Wars. No, this is basically I've played bingo one way, and I felt like somebody was asking me, because it's the way I did in the first version. I did bingo with terms, and somebody goes, well, do you have any questions that go along with it? And it got me thinking. I'm like, okay. So I have now modified my original bingo game, which was the previous video and lesson, and done this one as well with it. So this is my newer of the two. And the difference basically, it's these things. It's the card. Bingo 1, bingo terms, is you put terms in here. And in this version, bingo 2 or bingo questions, we use the numbers themselves, B6, O73, all that kind of stuff. And then we ask questions and answers along the way to get points and to get more spots on here and have a lot of fun. I recommend checking them both out. I think they're both a lot of fun. They're different experiences. I hope you like them both, folks. This is bingo. Yes, everybody, this is Bingo Part 2. Thanks for checking this thing out. I am Ryan, the Game Show Guy. As always, would love for you to be able to leave comments in places on the YouTube channel, Instagram, or on the Teachers page. If you would be able to do that, I would be grateful. All right, so here's the bingo thing. The way in which this bingo came about is originally that I played the other version, the earlier version, and that one basically was I came up with a way in which that I wanted to bingo terms and just randomize them and do that sort of stuff. And then somebody was asking me, they say, hey, Ryan, I want to be able to play like questions and answers, but still do the bingo thing. And that got me thinking. I'm like, okay, well, I don't want to get rid of the other one. So I got two versions of the bingo part 1, bingo part 2. But it's not necessarily like a sequel per se kind of a thing. It's just it's just another version, another choice, if you would. The biggest difference, like I said, is the cards themselves. They look the same a little bit. The first version of the bingo that you have is sort of a blue background, bingo terms, and to help you differentiate it, this one's sort of a black background to kind of help you visually understand like which one that I'm playing and which one that I'm in. Both the bingo games, like all my games, when you start them, got their sound effects and music to go along with the game. Bingo. Anyway, yeah, it's sort of a fun way, little introduction to be able to get into the game. And so to do this one, the other game, Bingo Part 1 or Bingo Terms, is really an easy game to set up. You just tell the kids, open up your study guides, fill in the blank bingo cards, and then you start randomly picking them. So it doesn't require much on your end. This game will require more because much like some of the other games that you've played yourself or you made or Jeopardy or Kahoots and things like that, you got to provide the questions and such. And so that's what we're doing here. So the heavy lifting in this one is making the questions. So look at two parts here. If you can see here, the first step in this thing is we got to make a board. So if you take a look at the directions about making a board, it shows here, the first one, it says you can print your own cards or you can buy some cards. So if you're going to print your own cards, I got two choices. One, if it says here, it says click here to make some blank pages. And all that basically is going to do here is it just opens up a PDF that I have that looks like this right here. And you can just print a bunch of these. You can print 2 to a page or 4 to a page, and then basically tell the kids, hey, what I want you to now do is I want you to put the numbers. You randomly make your own cards, okay? Kind of like doing lottery or whatever. That you want to pick the numbers. Don't do like a quick pick where it does them for them. This is the kids can pick their own. If they want to do B1, B2, B3, B4, B5, or whatever, they put them in that order. On the following slide, I put this up on the screen and tell the kids, hey, here's where to pick from. All the B's need to come from the blue and I's come from the red and that kind of stuff. And if you look, like I said here, if you print them out, I actually have the numbers on the top. So this gives the kids the opportunity to be able to make their cards look like this, and they get to choose their numbers. That's and that'll take a little bit of time, not long. So that's the first part of that, if you want to be able to have them make their own. Second option is this one here. It says use this to do 75 random cards. And so this is just a randomized thing here that does about 2 per page, you can see, and these are all just randomized bingo cards that you can ultimately print out, and you can go to 1,000 other bingo card makers, and you can be able to find if you want to be able to do those. So that's one option. The second option is just buy them. Okay. The first one is the classic slider board. Oh my goodness. I just loved this as a kid back in the day when I remember going to my town's little picnics we had during the summer, and the parents would all play bingo, and we would go over there and want to play bingo and then realize how boring it is when you're 8 years old. But I love those little sliders. And so here's that slider board you can see here. Really pretty cool. And the nice part about doing something like this is that they're reusable. You just slide it, and then unslide it once you want to be able to do it again. And you can see here, they're a little bit pricey. Here's for 25 cards. Here, let's say you're probably able to do 50 cards. That's $1 a card. So that's a little bit pricey that you can see there. 200 cards, 100 cards. 100 cards goes to, $100 basically. So they're a little bit pricey. Nice investment if you really get into the bingo piece on it. The other option is this one, the disposable paper cards that you can be able to get into. And so here's some from Amazon that you can get. And when we say disposable, this is what they look like. They can be disposable. These are cardboard. These actually came from a bingo set that I bought for like $5, I think, at the Goodwill, and it came with a whole bunch of these ones. These ones are cardboard, and so you can use little beans and pennies and things like that to be able to cover them up. If you're using disposable ones, that they can be able to stamp them and mark them with the daubers or the cards or whatever like that. But look how cheap this is. If you do want to mark them, there's 500 sheets for $9. So way more reasonable if you want to be able to just give them the cards and be able to go on with that one. So there's that. All right. Second thing is now let's play the game. So playing the game is this, different from some of my other games. So let's visualize the classroom real fast. Unlike many of my other games where I put the 3 total teams, I'm going to do this one differently. I'm going to make teams, very, very small numbers of teams. I'm going to make somewhere between 10 to 12, something like that, different teams. I'm going to put 2 to 3 kids in a team each. And then I'm going to be able to have them sort of pair off against each other. So it says here, you can see here, I group the teams into 2 to 3. Then I'm just going to have them get together around a bingo card. And they're not competing against other people. They can still just be in their classroom. I just say, hey, move your seats together, 2 or 3 seats together, get out your bingo cards. Another reason I like to have multiples is so that we're all just not having the one kid in the middle be the one. So if you give a team of 2 to 3, they get 3 cards so that each kid on their team is playing their own individual cards, kind of a thing. Anyway, and then you're going to go to the question slide. The question slide has 36 questions on there. And we just basically call out a random number like, hey, you guys over there, pick a number. They're going to pick a number, and then we're going to jump to that one, kind of like Jeopardy. I want to go to the, people for 500 or something like that. Then once we go there, let me show you what it looks like when we go to one of these ones. Here's what the board looks like, the questions board. There's 36 of these, and they're all hyperlinked. They're hyperlinked to, if I would click on number 2 per se, then what that's going to do, then it's going to jump me to question number 2. And then from question number 2, there'll be some questions that we can answer. But let me show you what it looks like first. If I click on number 2, all of a sudden it goes to here, and I have some animation happening. And what is this right here? It says, hey, before I even ask a question, we're going to pick 3 bingo balls to be able to go here. Okay. Irregardless of the question. Okay. So that means everybody is playing these on all your cards. So then you go and do your bingo caller. If you watch the other video, there's a bunch of different places you can be able to do and get your bingo callers. Or like I mentioned before, for $5, I think I got this cool little yippee bingo. You spin it around and then, oh, here it comes on out. And I got, what is that? I have B14, everybody, and kind of a neat way to be able to do that. And you can have some kids help with that. So sort of the real bingo picking is kind of neat. Basically, so here they clicked on that one, I think on question number 2, and it says do 3 bingo numbers. So I'm going to do B3, O64, and G50. All right, give a second if you got them. You guys got them? Okay, now with your whiteboards, everybody, here comes your question. And then in the bottom left corner, when I click on reveal question, here comes a question that comes up. What are these questions for? Just you wait and see. They'll do their answers. Ready, set, everybody, hold up your boards. They're going to hold up their boards. And I say, and the answer is, correct answer. All right. So now we go back to the board. The question has been muted. You can see the color has been changed. So then we can go to the next one. All right. Well, what do those questions mean? And that's what we go to here. So this, although we're playing bingos, the point of bingos is we want one of these groups of 2 to 3 kids to win. And what does it mean? And what does it win? It's not first bingo or first blackout. We're doing a point-based system. So basically, it's this. If they get a question correctly, every time they get a question correctly as a team, they're going to get 1 point. Okay. However, if the times that they can get bingos, they get a 5 point, and then they can get to a blackout, they can get 10 points. By the way, like all my games, feel free to change the numbers. Like you want to be able to do more for questions or more for a bingo, go for it, knock yourself out, play around with that, whatever. And so that's the whole point of the game, in which that there's not an end. We're not playing to the first person to get a T or the outside square, the X or anything like that. We're just playing same cards over and over again. We're just going to play until here's what you play. You play for 36 questions. That's it. And you keep counting those points and those bingos along the way to be able to see however many they can get. That in essence is the game right there. You got the questions and the bingos, except for I got a little bit of a wrinkle here. Let me see if I can try to remember which one is. I got a couple of them in here. Let me go to question number 9 and watch what happens here. Ooh, there's a little mysterious laugh. And here comes the Joker card. All right. Notice balls didn't come up. I'm not doing any of these things first. Okay. What happens here is this. It says, if you get the question correct, you can then pick any number on your board that you want. It's a Joker or a wild card. So the wild card comes up. Hey, everybody, now with your whiteboards, ready, set, go. You put the question in here. You guys spend a moment or two to see if you can be able to answer them. Hold up your boards, and the correct answer is all right. So those of you who got it correct, you are now going to go through and mark them. One of the things you got to be careful of a little bit is the let's just say what it is, the honesty of all of your kids. So you do want to work the room a little bit because, oh, we totally got that one. Yeah, put it there or whatever and such. So the wild card adds a little fun piece to it. Here's a little frustrating part for the kids. Let's say if they really need B5 and they go, oh gosh, I'm waiting on B5 and that'll give me only 2 more. Then they put it on B5 with the Joker card. What would happen if the next one that we call out is next couple questions? It's B5. That means they're out of luck. That's how I play it. If you wanted to be able to give them a double Joker, and then they can go put it somewhere else, you can do that. I say, hey, sorry, Charlie, you guessed wrong with your wild card kind of a thing. But so that eliminates that. If you go to all my questions here, you can see here, I got basically it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Every 3 to 4, I got a wild card. So there's going to be quite a few of them that are out there and such. And that's kind of, like I said, how the game is played. Let me show you a version of what it looks like here. I'll bring a finished version. Let's say I've made this one for a U.S. history class, doing the civil rights unit. And the kind of questions that you can have here, fill in the blank kind of questions, and you can add images in there. Like this one, what was this organization, or who was this person, this president and such. And so there's a fill in the blank and that kind of stuff. So whatever kind of questions that you want, you can be able to add into there. But it all goes onto the one slide. You got the question and the answer all on the one slide. These are all designed too that you can't move. Like so many of my games is you can't move to the next thing. There's only options that you can have or click onto those buttons. The reveal, question, reveal, answer, and then back to the question board. The number of balls will change. You can see they rotate. Sometimes it's 2, sometimes it's 3, sometimes it's only 1 bingo ball, kind of a thing. Yes, if you play this enough, the kids will remember where the jokers are. I don't think so because there's a lot of them on there. But yeah, sort of a fun concept and fun way to be able to play the game. If you wanted to add more questions, you could. You just got to be aware of the I've only hyperlinked 36 of them. You could make it less if you would like. If you wanted to do more, you're going to have another way to be able to get to a slide that has more questions, or you can just do them verbally, that kind of a thing as well too. But a fun way to be able to play bingo in one of these games that doesn't really have it's not a set thing in terms once we get to the end that we're done. This is all about get to the questions. This is one of my newer games. I've only actually played this one once with my students, like I mentioned before, because I've always done the bingo terms version, which I really enjoyed. And so I just played this one. Had a fun time playing with the thing. Had to kind of get the gist of the Joker's the wild card component of it and whatever. So hope you guys have fun with it. And since it is new, I would love, as usual, give me some feedback. Give me some feedback in all those places that you can get feedback, folks. This is Bingo. Hope you enjoyed yourself, and this has been the Game Show.